You know, I don't do this song very often. I don't know why. Well, yeah, I do know why. It's hard. It's a hard one. I'm just real with you, okay? Usually if it goes through my head, it comes out my mouth. So, anyways, that's what I am. It took me a year to decide to do this surgery. They do map it out ahead of the surgery, but then actually a robot does the surgery, which kind of scared me at first, but then I thought, well, at least it's the very same surgery. He knows exactly where he's going, right? So it scared me for a long time. And then what I do have to tell you is that I had a little incident about a month ago. I was in a worship service, and I knew that something was wrong. I didn't feel right. And I had been having deja vus for a long time, and then they kind of ended up starting to be in smacking seizures, which I know my pharmacist friend over here knows all about, right? And probably doctors in the room, but I'd be like I was chewing gum. You know, it almost, probably a lot of you do that when you're, chewing gum. But in this service, I didn't do one thing. I had a friend over here that said, I was watching you the whole time, you didn't do anything. But I had to go home and sleep for 4.5 hours. And so I knew what that was, postictal. I knew that immediately that something happened that day. And I could even tell you that he was preaching out of Luke. But what I couldn't tell you is how long the worship was. Because I told my friend, I said, did they just do 2 songs? She said, no, it was like 3 or 4. I was like, oh. So when that happened, I really went to the Lord in prayer. I called out his name. And you know what? The word that I finally got back within about a day was trust. And I literally had a squirrel moment. I was like, what? Trust? Wait, I think I heard something. I don't really know. You know how squirrels do. They do that. They look around. They have their little nut. Don't you love it how they do that? They turn that little nut around. But guess what? Then I heard it again. Trust. So I've gotten to a whole new place in my life. That's what heartache does and hardship does, doesn't it? I've gotten to a whole new place. I'm at a spot now where I have got to just lay myself on that table and trust. We're gonna call on his name. We're gonna call on his name. I'd ask you to just pray for me here, even as we sing. See, friends, my help in time of trouble is never far away. My hope in deepest darkness still remains unchanged. Though discouragement may come, I cry out to the one and only Jesus. Jesus. So when I call on the name of the Lord, he's gonna give all the strength and power that my heart is longing for. When I call on the name of the Lord, he will lift up my head and speak peace to me once more. When I call on the name of the Lord, oh, I have found the only refuge where I can safely hide. His name is my strong tower, my shelter in the night. You see, this world will let me down. That's why my trust is found in only Jesus. Oh, in Jesus. So when I call on the name of the Lord, He's gonna give all the strength and power that my heart is longing for. When I call on the name of the Lord, He will lift up my head and speak peace to me once more. When I call on the name of the Lord. Oh, you see now, there is no other language that moves the hand of grace like the prayers of His children who come to Him in faith. Oh, when I call on the name of the Lord, He'll give all the strength and power that my heart is longing for. When I call on the name of the Lord, He will lift up my head and speak peace to me once more. When I call on the name of the Lord.